How we should live while we wait for Christ's return. Luke 21 verse 34 to 36. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. The return of the Lord is not supposed to catch the believers unaware. Christ has already given us all the indications of his return, and he has also told us all the measures we need to put in place to ensure that we are fully prepared for his coming. We are supposed to be ready for his coming. What if he doesn't come in my lifetime? Does it really matter? Whether he comes here or whether you go to him, it doesn't matter. We are to be always ready. The day our life here on earth will end is unknown to us all, and the day of his coming is unknown to anyone. Not even Christ himself or the angels in heaven know the day of his return. That means you and I should always be ready. The uncertainty of the very day of Christ's return is the reason we must all live our lives in a way that will qualify us to reign with him when he shall suddenly appear. Matthew 24 verse 36. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Christ warns us not to be overly conscious of the cares and pleasures of life, so that his coming will not meet us unprepared. Therefore, believers are to live every day of their lives as if Christ will return the following hour. There are many who are beginning to lose the hope of the coming of Christ because of its delay. Throwing cautions to the wind is quite dangerous at this time, because all the indicators of the imminence of Christ's return are being manifested in our very eyes. We must always be on guard, because Christ will come as a thief in the night who gives no notice to his victims. Matthew 24 verse 27. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Christ told us how we should live in preparation for his return. He instructed us to always watch and pray. Christ knows that if we watch and pray, we will not fall into temptation. He knows that if we are on our watch, his coming will not come upon us unaware. To watch means to be eager, earnestly waiting for his return. To watch also means to be on guard and to be careful. Our eagerness for the return of the Lord will produce a great passion in our hearts, which will cause us to stand firm in the hope of his arrival. We are to watch for the return of the Lord as one who earnestly yearns and waits for the return of a loved one from a journey. We keep watch for the coming of the Lord when we guard our conducts and refuse to be lured into evil practices of the world. The world is charming. It promises momentary pleasures. However, believers must learn to subdue their appetites for the pleasures of this world in order to lay hold on eternity. While the people of the world will be pursuing wealth, fame and power at all cost, Christ would return to their utter dismay, leaving them with no opportunity to amend their ways. Then, the blessedness of our watchfulness will be glaring to all, for the reward of our patience will be duly handed to us. Revelation 22 verse 12, And behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to give to everyone according to his work. Matthew 24 verse 36 to 44 says, But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken, and the other left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, and the other left. Watch, therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. This is exactly what Christ was warning us against when he said we should not be overcharged by the cares of this life. Today, many people, and even believers, are so much concerned about the affairs of this life that they forget that this world is not their home. If we heed the warning of Christ and remain on our watch, we will not be carried away by the numerous activities going on in the world. The story of Noah's Ark should teach us a very great lesson. Before the flood comes, we must get into the boat. Jesus is coming soon. We must ensure to stay put in him. Do not be the one left behind. Always be ready for his return. Another reason we must be on guard is the fact that several people will be deceived by false teachers in these last days. Presently, there are false teachers with devilish teachings, whose business is to deceive people and give them a false impression about the coming of Christ. Some of them would even ask people to discard the news about Christ's second coming. Matthew 24 verse 11 says that in the last days false prophets shall arise and many shall be deceived. If we will not be part of those who will be deceived, we must be on the watch. Jesus did not just ask us to watch, he also instructed us to pray. The reason prayer must complement our watching is that a time may be reached when we begin to faint and lose heart while watching. If you have a long-expected visitor who is not showing up, there is a great possibility that you get wearied out waiting for such. That tendency abounds in our waiting process. But when we pray alongside watching, we will be strong to withstand the pressures of life. Prayer prepares our souls and keeps us on track. It renews our hopes and strengthens our faith. When we combine the effect of watching and praying, we receive divine strength to hold fast to our faith without compromising. Luke 12 verse 37 says, Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself, and make them sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. There is a great blessing for as many that Christ will find watching at their duty posts. They shall reign with him forever. We must not allow the momentary pleasures of this world to rob us from the glory that awaits us in eternity. When Christ shall come, he will wipe away our tears. Isaiah 55 verse 6 tells us to seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. This verse indicates to a time where God may not be found by those who call upon him. We must seek the Lord whilst he still may be found before it is too late. I beseech you, my fellow brethren, be watchful and prayerful, for we know not the day of the Lord's return.